week so far in the NFL. We're
Oh,
above 500.
yippee for us. I guess that means we're brilliant. Because the
Well,
2-point
I'll tell you what.
conversion went our way, and
Hey, I mean, and I
was it
and I do my
Cleveland
pick.
was the team that
I do mine with the
yeah.
Lions too, and the Lions and Cowboys. I picked the
No,
Cowboys to
that's
win outright.
Lines, not Lio.
Lines, yes.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys were 6-point favorites. I said, I'll take the Lions there. And then Dan Campbell jumps off a cliff last night. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Now,
he's the coach that'll typically do that, though. He's normally,
but still, you can't afford to do that right here. When it's time for playoffs, you got.
Well, that would have been interesting.
Look, you've held this team to 20 points.
Game. Would have he done it in a playoff game? That would have been, that's
right. I think they get you fired.
That takes
21 points. You've held the Cowboys to 21. They're averaging 44 at home all year.
You're going to get even more criticized. So is what I'm saying in the playoffs. You're going to take a lot of heat that you might not take in regular season, even late. But we just discovered that it looks like the Braves made an acquisition. What do you think?
You was telling me Chris Sale from Boston to Atlanta. That he has really been kind of up and down the last 2.5 years.
He's had some injuries, I think.
He has, and then on top of that, when he's been able to pitch, he's given up 6-7 runs a couple times. Now, does he have ace stuff? Of course he does. He can. I mean, he can still throw the ball 97, 98 miles an hour. I don't know what they gave up his kid Grissom. I don't know what to expect. I don't know anything about him, but it's sure looking like the Red Sox are looking to explore some of their options, getting rid of some of these outfielders they got, and they want to get some pitching in. I think they want Corbin Burns. We'll see what happens. I'll be very, very surprised if they don't either get Burns or Glasnow one, maybe both.
Well, Glasnow is with the Dodgers, so he can't get unless they trade for him.
Okay.
Yeah, Glasnow's with the Dodgers.
He signed a long-term deal too, so yeah.
Our games today, we got some 1:00 games. I'm gonna throw the lines out here.
I was just gonna say on Sale. I think one of the things with Sale is his temperament. Sometimes he gets a little bit red-assed, and
I think he's a little spoiled. He's a little spoiled.
His career's never been the same since he wanted to take scissors to the White Sox throwback uniform that he didn't want to wear.
They cut the collars off of him.
Yeah. Today the Titans are playing the Texans.
Stroud will be playing. He's out of concussion protocol.
He will be playing. Yep. Texans are 5-point favorites. Now, Tim has already said he likes the Titans. He picked the Titans.
I think that was before I knew that. A lot of this was sadly before knowing all the injury.
Now, let me ask you now though. 5 points. Would you give 5 points up and take your Texans, or would you? I still think the Titans are within 5 points of them.
I do too.
Titans. Huh?
I do too. I think they're within 5 points. I think they're going to fight for. I hope they fight for Vrabel's job. If not, with the way that the Buckeyes look piss poor, Vrabel could be contacted to coach the Ohio State University.
Keith, what do you think?
Well,
are the Titans as good as 5 points within them, or do you think the Texans just eat them up this week?
Well, I mean, we don't know what Stroud's going to look like coming back from the
right. He is at home. He
had a game or two where it wasn't quite as pretty as far as his numbers and stuff there right before he got hurt. Anyway, now that might have been partly because he was already injured and we just didn't know the status on his head.
And is Tannehill playing?
I don't know. See, and that's
I think
Levis though has been playing fairly decent too, but it's just.
I think Tannehill's back out there again.
Yeah, late in the season, I think the Titans are going to play at their best. I think they're going to play hard. I really do. I think they're going to come out there trying to win the game. Division opponent, you kind of want to beat them anyway.
Yep.
And that
I'm
was
with
the
you guys.
sign of
I
putting
think your
division
Titans are
opponents
within
against
5.
each other.
I would take your Titans and plus the 5. And Tim says,
Yeah,
how
and
about
I was very, very tempted to take the Titans to win that game.
right?
I guess felt like the Texans were kind of due, is kind of what I was
Uh-huh.
thinking. I mean, they haven't been quite as good the last couple of weeks, and I kind of figured they'd maybe play a real good game this week. So,
Right.
um,
We'll see what
but
happens
I
there.
think it's going to be a close one. It could go either
Yeah.
way.
Now the next one, I really don't have to ask these guys because they're taking the dog here. Falcons at the Bears. Falcons are a 3-point favorite this week, going to Chicago.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. I really don't.
Keith and Tim both are taking them, and you know what? I think they cover this. I like it. I like your Falcons this week. They have a playoff chance. They
Well,
have a chance.
I've heard some people that I guess follow the Falcons a little more closely say that they're really just a quarterback away from being a pretty good team.
Yeah, I agree. I really think they're. I think they're closer to being a playoff team than the Bears, definitely. And the thing, Tampa,
it's hard to say.
and Tampa, we just, I talked to Matt Sharp at length yesterday, and he told me exactly what he thinks Tampa's going to do in the offseason. They're going to unload that linebacker that's disgruntled, White, and they're going to definitely. He said they're definitely going to try to get them a little bit better offensive line and defensive line. He thinks Lions is going to be the LINES is what the Bucs are going to go after. So we'll see there. I just think the Falcons will come out this week. I don't know why I think it. Number one, Heineke has been playing well. He's getting a chance now. He's going to be playing, I think, this week. We're going to see. I think your Falcons' defense is a little bit underrated. They may not be as good as, they may not be a top 20 defense, but I still think they can get to the quarterback, and I still think they can get some turnovers. I like the Falcons this week. The two guys right here, the other two guys, they are on the Bears bandwagon. Now, how about this one? Dolphins at the Ravens. Dolphins at the Ravens. I don't really have a say in this one. I picked the dog to win. I already picked the Dolphins to win. 3 and a hook this week, Tim. Would you take the Ravens and give a Dolphins fan or somebody else 3.5?
The Ravens are favored by 3.5.
Yes.
Barely. I think that's a good number, but I think this could be like a 4-point game for the Ravens.
Okay,
I take them to win.
So you would still stick with the Ravens here. How about you, Tim? I mean Keith. 3 and a hook.
Yeah, I would. See, the Dolphins, this is just the kind of team. I don't know if the Dolphins match up good against a team like the Ravens.
You see, I'm just the opposite. I think this is a perfect team to dethrone them. I think they have the speed to do it, and I think they're going to have the ball up in the air all game long. I'm expecting Tua to throw for 350 this week. I really am. They cannot run the football on this team. I don't think they can do it.
Well, the Dolphins' defense is going to have to play better than what I think they are.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. But if they're able to stop 8 from running, I don't think with his arm he can beat them. I don't think so. So I think you got to put eight in the box and stay out.
The Rams are the team, I think, that took the Ravens to overtime. But I think the Rams kind of match up better with them than the Dolphins do.
And you see, I see the Rams and the Dolphins. The Rams just being a cheap offset of the Dolphins. They have good, fast receivers, and I have a quarterback who can get the ball down the field. Neither defense is great. I do. I like the Dolphins here in this play. I think they even cover by. I mean, they're 3.5-point dogs. I think they win by more than a touchdown. I really do. I think the Dolphins. They want that number one. And if they win this week, they can take number one away from the Ravens. They're the only team that can do it looks like. So we'll see. The Bucs, 2.5-point favorites against the Saints. We all took your Bucks. I like your Bucks better than a field goal over the Saints this week. Keith, 2.5.
I just don't trust the Saints offense at all. To me, it's like sometimes they'll come out and they'll put some numbers up there, get some Carr. It's just Carr. To me, Carr is just, he's not stable enough. He's not steady enough. He's not consistent enough.
And who 2 years ago, who in the world would have thought we would have been saying, look at this quarterback that's really, really calm in the pocket named Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield is playing that way. Tim, 2.5 points. Do you have enough confidence in the Bucks this week?
Yes, I do.
I do too. I really think at home they play well. They want a playoff spot. I really think they've got it. I really do. Patriots and Bills. We all took the Bills this week. But are you 13 points happy with the Bills? Tim?
No. I will say this, though. While their offense kind of is waiting to get in gear, the defense is there, and I think the Bills maybe win by like 8, 9, 10 points, not 13.
Keith?
Surprisingly, yes. I think that they're going to win easily today. I think they're going to blow the Patriots right out of the stadium.
I'm with you.
I just think there's too much of a talent mismatch.
Yeah.
And Allen's actually kind of seems like he's kind of got some mojo going again. I just think, the Patriots just don't have enough talent.
They're in Buffalo. That's number one.
Too much.
They're playing in Buffalo.
Yeah,
number two, I'm like, yes. Where did the Patriots score? How are they going to score their points this week?
Yeah, and Zappy, I just don't predict Zappy having a good day up there in Buffalo.
No, I think this is one of those days that Zappy can go 7 of 18 for 58 yards, 3 picks, and I think it could be a long day.
One of those games where both the quarterbacks for the Patriots are in the game, and they both look bad.
Right. I think the Bills could put a 40-burger on them. I really do.
Rob, I think they could even get 50 today.
They might. The thing is, the Patriots have a great defense, but they can't stay on the field 45 minutes. If they do that, they're in trouble. Huh?
Scheme-wise, they might be a good defense, but I don't think that talent-wise, I don't think that they can really hold on too well.
And not staying on the field forever. You can't do that. You just can't. I'm with you, Keith. Strong Bills here. I really like them. I give up 13 in a heartbeat. Let's start with Keith here. Cardinals at the Eagles. Cardinals at the
Just to add on, the Bills might be one of the top 2 or 3 teams going into the playoffs in terms of how they're actually playing. They're playing better than the Chiefs right now. They might be better than the Dolphins, right? Because
playing better than the Bengals. They're playing better. Yeah.
And the Ravens are good, but I wouldn't want to have to play Buffalo right now if I'm the Ravens.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to play the Bills, even if the Ravens had them at home right now. I wouldn't want to be playing the Bills because the Bills can score. They can do it.
The Bills will have probably a game in the playoffs where they kind of have a little bit of that ugly that comes out, and that that's going to make them vulnerable in that game. But they're kind of a team that's playing a little bit hot right now. I think
they're scary. They're scary good. We'll start with you, Keith. Cardinals at the Eagles. The Eagles are 10.5-point favorites. Do you give that up, or do you take your Cards at 10.5? They're in Philly.
Yeah, Philly is kind of hard to figure out right now. Their offense is dangerous, but they seem to have kind of cooled off. But I have a feeling they're going to get it back going again. But they can't start slow against the Cardinals, or the Cardinals will be a pest and hang with them. I think Philadelphia will kind of get their legs under them, though, and kind of get things rolling again this week at some point, even if it's not in the first quarter. and end up. I think they'll cover that against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals might have their moments with it early on where they kind of make it feel like, oh wow, maybe this will be a game.
I'm with you. This is like playing with a powder keg when you're playing with the Eagles. The Eagles are capable of scoring from their own 2-yard line. They're capable of scoring anywhere on the field because they just got the raw talent at receiver. And when Hurts can get the ball to them, they are really, really good. Their defense, I think we're finding out they have some chunks in the defense and some problems, especially defensive backs. That might end up – I don't think it's going to get them into a Super Bowl this year. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. But against this team, knowing what's at stake, they know they can get that number 2 seed if they win this week and they win next week against the Giants. I just think this week is just going to be a blowout city. I'll be really surprised if Kyler Murray makes it through 60 minutes of hell in Philly. I got them winning 36-24.
Tim, what do you see in that game?
I like the Eagles to cover.
Yeah,
How about what do you think?
I don't even see that if the Cardinals score 24 points, that's not a good look for the Eagles defense.
Okay.
I'd say I don't know about 36. I'd say I'm gonna be actually 30 plus is not out of the realm. I'll say like 30 to 13.
Okay. So you think they'll pretty well cover as well today?
Yeah.
All right. I'll start this one myself. Panthers at the Jags. The Jags have definitely got to win this ball game if they're going to end up going to the playoffs. 6.5-point favorites. I just think that's too much. Trevor Lawrence, we know he's got 2 or 3 injuries. I think he's playing today. I think he'll play. We'll see if he plays. But even when he has played, they have not looked like world beaters. I just don't think they are. The Panthers are playing with pride here at the end of the season. They've made some games close. It shouldn't be close. 24-19, I think the Jags win it, but I think they skin it out. Tim. 6.5. 6.5.
Once again, Vegas knows what they're doing. Wow. Because I could see this being like a 6 or a 7-point game. But, man. Is it in Jacksonville or is it in Carolina?
It is in Jacksonville. While you are thinking for a second, Keith outright picked the Panthers to win this week.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a terrible pick because I'm telling you, they're playing with pride. 6.5 points, I just think it's too much. I really do. Now, Tim makes
you know what? I'll still take the Jaguars to win. Oh, what the hell?
By more than a touchdown.
I'll say within 6.5 points.
So you think they'll
put it in
cover,
any parlays?
You think they cover the 6.5?
I think the Panthers will cover. Hey,
you
Bob.
think the Panthers do? Here comes Bob now. Bob's with us now. What's going on, my friend?
And Bob is Mr.
How you guys doing?
Bob is Mr. Panther, so he's the expert.
Yeah. You know what, Bob? We think the Panthers are going to keep this game close today against the Jags. 6.5 points. We all think
it'll probably be a close game, but it'll probably be close. But I think Panthers will end up losing anyhow.
Okay, they may. I got them losing the ball game 24-19. Jags have got too much. They're playing for too much here for this game.
Yeah,
we'll start with Bob here. Bob actually took the Colts here to win.
I think that's part of the reason I'm taking the Panthers. The Jaguars have more at stake. They're at home.
And they may start turning on each other. You got guys
they're in a three-way tie, aren't they, for first place in that division right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe with what is it, Houston and Indianapolis? So I think that's just if they mess up the ball.
Right.
Explain something to me, guys.
Pressure
I
really
missed the end of the Dallas game. What actually happened?
Okay. The Lions decided to go for 2 points after they scored instead of kicking the extra point.
Oh,
they could have kicked the extra. They could have kicked the extra point and went to overtime. I didn't like it call. Tim, how did you like it call?
Okay, so here's what really happened. The call for the tackle eligible was brilliant. Allegedly, what didn't happen was that the one offensive lineman didn't go to the referee and tell him that he was eligible. They thought, the referees thought that only the one lineman was going to be eligible, not both of them. And they're disputing whether he actually did. You can see him kind of go up to the referee, but not, and he's trying not to be too demonstrative to be like, oh, I'm going to get the ball. You know.
Yeah. He didn't want to tip
so he catches it, they throw the flag.
And then after that, then the Cowboys get a flag on them.
Yeah.
And then they get back to the 3-4 yard line. No, it's about the 6 or 7 yard line, whatever. But they should have kicked it. Once they got back that far, they should have said,
well, the problem is that you're still within the shorter range for a 2-point conversion than you are an extra point.
Yeah.
So at that point, you've already won the division. You're kind of like, I don't want to play extra football and get anybody hurt.
Right.
Go for 2.
Now they could have won. They could still have gotten that number 2 seed if they had won.
But you're still playing the opening weekend, so what does it matter if it's a 2, 3, or 4 seed?
Right. The only difference is if you make it through that first weekend, you're going to be at home the second weekend too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a 2 seed, you are home. If you win, you're home for the second weekend.
Yeah, a 3 could be on the road the second weekend. Yeah, they could.
Wait a minute.
But they might be at home. It depends on who wins in the other games.
Well, all that matters is if number 2 wins. If number 2 wins, they're at home.
They don't.
But number 3 ain't at home then. They know they're not. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Oh, okay.
Dog.
Next game we got going on is Raiders and Colts. And Bob's the only one went with the favorite here. He went with the Colts. Bob, at home, do the Colts cover 3.5? Tim, Keith, and myself, we all like the Raiders this week. I like the Raiders going, stepping right into Indy and just winning. But
I think
do you think the Colts win big?
I think the Colts can win at home.
By 4 points? Or
yes.
You think it'll be, you do? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And that's actually Harris's lock of the week is it Colts. So
the Colts kind of need a game to be kind of wild and crazy to win. It's kind of like a bunch of crazy stuff happens and they come out on top. But the Raiders showed last week they can play a sound defensive scheme.
That quarterback of theirs is good.
They can use the old elements of power, aggressiveness, and defense to kind of wear you down. And if you make mistakes against them, you're going to really pay for it. And the Colts make mistakes.
O'Connell, what was his name? Aiden O'Connell? Is that his name?
The quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, I like the way he throws the football, too.
No, he's out of Iowa State or something.
I like the way he plays. I really do. We all 4 next. The Rams and Giants. And the Rams are 4.5-point favorites. I have no problem laying 5 points out and giving them to the Giants. Does anybody here think, woo, those Giants are going to play within that 4.5 points, Keith?
Well, what they got their second string quarterback coming back, right?
They've got Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod Taylor's back.
Yeah. But then we don't know what we're going to get out of them. Rams are playing pretty good right now.
Rams have a playoff berth. They have a chance at a playoff berth.
Yeah. So I think the Rams are just a better team. The Giants, they might just fold up now and call it a year.
4.5's not a problem then.
It shouldn't be.
Right. Tim?
Yeah, I agree with Keith that it shouldn't be a problem.
Bob, you think Rams cover 4.5 at the Giants today?
Oh, I think so.
I think so too. Next, we got the 49ers. 13-point favorites going to Washington today. Tim, Tell me why Washington's going to cover 13.
The only
They might not
reason,
score
okay,
30.
the only reason they could cover,
Is if they call the dogs off.
well, if Purdy plays turnover ball like he did last week, which he will not. But I don't see how this Commanders defense is going to hold, and the 49ers defense will not allow, if they get up by 20 points, will not allow a comeback like that.
Yeah,
like
49ers have way too much speed with Debo and McCaffrey and Ayuk and so and
I will say this: Kittle should have, I'll say, 85 yards or more receiving.
Washington couldn't cover if they put 2 or 3 more defensive backs out there and played with 14 guys. I don't think.
Yeah. What about it, Bob? You thinking Niners roll today?
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Is Brissett going to start this week?
I think Jacoby Brissett will start. That helps Washington, yes, but this is a tough spot for this guy. It's hard to start against San Francisco. Defensive backfield for Washington is number one, not the skilled places that they need, and they're not fast. They have let receivers go by 30 yards. I look for this to be ultimate blowout. I think Washington will score. I don't think they're going to shut Washington down. 47-20 is what I got here. I still think Washington will score some points, but I just think
that guy from the Dolphins was getting clear by 10 yards or more, just like 20 yards downfield.
Hill.
20, 25 yards downfield, he'd already beat the.
And the thing is, I think schematically, Washington just does. I think they play such a vanilla defense that if you put 3 receivers on one side, put somebody in motion, they have no clue what they're doing. So, number one, I think they've got to fire everybody when they do it. Coach, coordinators, and that includes the offensive coordinator that needs to get his ass back to Kansas City. Bye. You can't.
I think he's going to end up with the Bears, but
he could be. But he can't get out of Washington quick enough for me.
He's going.
I think Washington needs to just completely clean house.
Yeah, 4:00 today. We'll take care of the left screen right here because me and Tim actually picked the dog here. Steelers and Seahawks. Keith, Seahawks 3.5-point favorites against the Steelers. Would you comfortably give up 3.5 and take your Hawks here, Seahawks?
That's up in Seattle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Comfortably.
And Drew Lock is scheduled to start. Yeah. But they've said if Drew Lock doesn't start, they go with the other kid that's not been starting all year. Their starter sits today. Their starter sits.
I don't know if I'd give up. I don't know if I'd give up 3.5 or not, but I think Seattle will probably pull the game out. I just don't know about covering it. That's probably a field goal game one way or another.
Okay, so you probably, if 3.5 was at you, you'd take the Steelers and take it 3.5.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, Bob, how about you?
If Rudolph is starting,
yeah.
I'll still take Seahawks.
Yeah. Me and Tim, I got the Steelers win this game by a point. I'm not backing down. Even with Mason Rudolph, that Steeler defense keeps them in games. And every time we've said, nope, the Steelers can't win. Nope, the Steelers can't win. Nope, the Steelers. They come out of here and show us why. Tim, are you backing down or you still think the Steelers can win today?
Still think the Steelers can win.
I think so, too. I think they can win this ballgame. Bengals and Chiefs. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. We will ask Tim. Tim's going with the dog here. Keith, 7 points today. Can you give us 7 points up against the Bengals if you're the Chiefs at home?
I will, but it's mostly because I just think that performance that we saw out of the
Browning.
Bengals. Yeah, last week was just like, that was a little sloppy. And playing at Kansas City coming off a loss, I just have a feeling the Chiefs win by about 10 at least.
Yeah. Tim and Bob both like your Bengals. I'm with you. I think 32-21. I think it's an 11-point game today. It's not so much credited to the Chiefs. It's discredited the Bengals. The Bengals, to me, man, they had played such good football over 12, 13 weeks. Last couple of weeks, they have looked like garbage. I think the Bengals get eliminated.
They started out so slow with the injury that they had with Burrow early in the season. And then, of course, he got hurt again. And
and that's got to scare you too.
But Browning did fill in pretty nicely for 2 or 3
for a
weeks.
while, yes. Yeah. But I think teams are starting to pick him up, and they're like, okay, if he moves, he's got to move to his right. If he moves to his left, he's dead. They're just coming from his right side after him.
Yeah, they know what part of the field to take away from.
They know where to cut off. Yep, exactly right. Chargers, Broncos. Bob's already says he likes the Chargers in this game. Keith, do you like your Broncos by 3 and a hook over the Chargers here in this game?
Yeah, because I don't like the Chargers for much.
And we already know Russ is not playing. Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be a real big deal. I mean, I still think up in Denver, Chargers just are.
What do you think, Tim?
Fast right now.
And the Chargers guy's not playing either, is he? I think he's out.
Stick?
No, the other one.
Eckler?
Huh?
Eckler?
Herbert.
Yeah, well, Herbert's out for the season, yeah. So.
Oh, okay. So Herbert's done. Okay.
Yeah. Stick's the guy for the rest of the season.
Yeah. 3.5 points, Tim.
Sure, I think Denver can win by 6.
Yeah, I actually got him by 26-18. I think Denver can win despite all the garbage that's going on there. I just think they will win this ballgame. Next, we're looking at the Packers and Vikings tonight. I'm out of this one because I think I like a dog all the way here. I like a Pack big. I actually like a Pack to cover this one. I mean, to win this one easy. Vikings are 2-point favorites, Bob. Are the Vikings going to comfortably beat the Packers tonight?
Who'd I pick?
You took it, Vikings. 2 points is all they got to win by.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Keith?
Yeah, I think the Vikings will have kind of like a little bit of a bounce back type of game this week, and the Packers just don't seem to. I mean, when they win, it's not even really all that pretty a lot of times, and so, yeah. I mean, I think this thing, Minnesota being up there in their dome, they'll find a way to get it.
Tim, 2 points a problem.
Sure. I'll take it.
So you take your Vikings and give up a 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you know what? I like the Pack this week. I don't know why. I just think they're going to go out and show something. I've been looking
for Mullins playing for the Vikings again.
Is who?
No, it's another guy. I think.
I got it for you.
Dobbs or whatever his name.
Nope. Another kid. Jaron Hall.
Huh?
Jaron Hall.
Oh, he was the backup to start the season.
Yep.
Darren Hall did he
He's
come
a rookie,
from?
isn't
he? Yeah.
Where did he come from?
Stop.
He came from BYU.
BYU. Okay. We'll see what happens there. And that's who the Vikings got to count on tonight, is Darren Hall. So, I think he played well for him last year because Anthony was big on BYU last year. Thought maybe they'd do more than they did. I like the Pack this week.
Successor to Zach Wilson.
Huh?
He was the successor to Zach Wilson, I think.
Yeah. And nowadays, being the successor to Zach Wilson means you better bring a mop and a broom because, the loose pieces on the floor, you're going to have to get them up before you start playing. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I'm going to have to head out, guys. I want to thank Keith for the broadcast here. Yeah. I'm gonna head out, and I'll be back. If you want to do hook up around 1 my time.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye.
So, did we not do Monday night game?
No, there's no Monday night game because of it being New Year's.
Oh, that's
Eve.
right. Yeah, okay. That's right. It's New Year's. And we got bowl games tomorrow. We got the playoffs.
Yeah. I was going to ask him before he left. What ended up being did you guys get a lock from me this week?
I don't remember if you gave one or not.
Okay. Because I gave like 5 of them. And I don't know if everybody picked all of them.
He might have taken one then for you.
I'll go back and watch, I guess.
You would send them to Brian? I think he did say something about you took like a certain list. I want to say he probably did get one for you.
Right.
Based on where he had your pick coming in.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's fine. If not, no big whoop. I mean,
it's not like we really count them for anything.
No, but I mean, it's still fun to.
We just talk about it more than anything.
Yeah,
it's part of the segment.
Right, and then I'm trying to think who would I take for tomorrow. So I'll probably take Alabama and like I don't know what to take. Probably Texas, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll be rooting for the other teams, I think, but
hopefully the games are better than they were yesterday. Holy Jesus, they were awful.
Yeah.
Like,
is there anybody not playing in any of these playoff games? Any players
not
opting out?
That I know of.
If that starts happening, that's going to hurt college football's plans for him.
Well, I think that's the thing. If it's a playoff game, I think they'll play. If it's just a regular bowl game, then no.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys are opting out because they're going to do the draft or whatever.
Yeah, and freaking, I knew by about the first or second quarter, watching that Ohio State game, Friday night, they didn't have it. And so I was going to watch that game over the Blue Jackets game. And about midway through the second quarter, I switched back to the Blue Jackets game and watched that till the end.
Yeah. Was that against Arizona or something?
What's that?
Who'd they play?
They played Missouri.
Missouri, oh, that's right. Yeah, Missouri held them down.
14-3 was the final because they scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But they bricked a field goal. He hit the upright, and just I guess Missouri threw the same defense at them the entire time, edge rusher, and they could with a jumbled offensive line than what they usually had. I don't know why, but it was not pretty. And then I put a joke on Facebook that the Blue Jackets actually outscored the Buckeyes 6-3. And people had a nice fun one about that. And there was also a meme on Facebook, not national, but I saw it from some people. It was a girl talking to Thanos, and he goes, "Are the Browns good this year?" "Yes." "What did it cost?" "Ohio State." And so I thought, oh my God, the world's ending. He's lost 2 games. And it's like, well, the reason people want him gone is because it's the same 2 games every year. Michigan and the bowl game.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Cooper. Almost 3 games because early on in his career he couldn't beat Illinois. they were always a thorn in his side. But Michigan in the bowl game, they won. The Cooper won the '93 Holiday Bowl and the '90s. Well, ended up winning 3 bowl games. He won the '97 Rose Bowl, and he won the '98 Sugar Bowl against, or '99 Sugar Bowl against Texas A&M.
Based on that OnStar data, investigators
So I guess the Buccaneers are winning. They win the division. So today,
it took a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
and
one of.
and
That's
get
one
ready
of
for
the
your
early
ands and
games I
oars.
get.
20 people out there will be searching.
Get-
The early games I get Saints at Buccaneers and Falcons at Bears. Mostly everybody but the Panthers in that division.
And I will
Bengals
be.
keep through.
If I watch the game tonight, I'll be Universo HD again because they still ain't worked out the NBC affiliate thing.
Green Bay and Minnesota.
Let's see, I got. Let's see, we should get 1 or 2 games from each because there's no. Oh no, we won't get a. I don't get a 1 o'clock Fox game. And it's Steelers and Seahawks at 4 for Fox. I get Dolphins, Ravens at 1, and Bengals and Chiefs at 4. But I may just be. I need to roll a few games for Stride. I got the lineups made up for the next games for the LCS that I'm doing. Derek Lee got hurt for the Cubs, so I have to put Darrell Ward at first base.
Oh,
I'm like, and plus they're facing a lefty they're facing David Wells.
and
And I gotta figure out
Derek
who I'm
Lee
gonna-
is losing a big piece of the team.
Then I got to figure out if I'm going to do. Well, Lowe can pitch on 3 days rest, so I might do him 1, 4, and 7. But then I have to figure out. Then I might just do 3-man rotation. I'm going to do a 4-man rotation for the Indians. I got Jake Westbrook starting this game, so I can put Carmona in for game 4.
Okay.
He can pitch game 7. So, yeah, it'll be a little different, but I understand.
But you can take Christmas with you wherever you go.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be probably 4 teams fighting for the number 7 spot in the AFC because you got 5 teams at 8 and 7. Well, one of those is going to be a winner at the South
Yeah,
in the next couple of weeks. But the Steelers, Bengals, and then 2 of those other teams being the Jaguars, Colts, and Texans.
let's see what has the possibility of being flexed for next
And
week.
then I guess the Raiders and Broncos might have a very teeny-weeny chance of getting in, but then they'd have to win out and a bunch of other stuff probably go their way.
Right.
Certain win combinations, because probably about the best they could do would be tying record-wise.
Yeah. It looks like
I came in here late. What did you guys talk about the Ravens and the Miami game?
I went with the Ravens.
I went with the Ravens as well.
Yeah,
Rob went with the
I think the Ravens are too strong defensively for Miami to beat them.
Yeah, that was kind of what my feeling was, that the defense is probably just a little bit the kind of team that Miami probably won't match up real well against.
Right.
And I don't know if the Dolphins defense will hold up, keep the Ravens out of the end zone enough.
All right. So here are your possible, in my opinion, possible Sunday night games for. Oh boy, that'd be nice if they put the Browns and the Bengals on Sunday Night Football, give them extra rest. Doubtful. Houston and Indianapolis, if it means that one of them has a chance for the playoffs or division. Don't think Denver and Vegas. You could put for entertainment value be Miami and Buffalo, but I think you get too much of Miami in prime time. Possibly Rams and 49ers if it means it's a playoff spot for the Rams. and then Ravens and Steelers if it means it's a playoff spot for the Steelers. So if they decide not to do Sunday Night Football, I'm not going to be upset. But I think contractually they have to.
I'm looking at the Bengals. They're one of those 8-7 teams, but they're only 3-7 in their conference, and they're
That
0-5
puts
in their
tiebreakers.
division. So they need a miracle.
Yeah. Well, Miracle One starts if they got to win today. And yeah, if the Ravens win, I'll tell you this right now. If the Ravens win today, then they win the division, and the Browns will rest everybody humanly possible next week against the Bengals. Or only play the healthy ones. Healthy starters may play a quarter or a half. The even remotely non-healthy will not play. Like Amari Cooper probably will not play next week if they don't need the game.
Man, looking at the interconference games this year, it looks like the AFC kicked the NFC's ass.
Well, you can blame that on the Commanders. You can Giants, the Bears, Packers, the Panthers, the Cardinals. The Seahawks beat the Browns.
It looks like they were like plus 10. It looks like they were like 10 games over 500 against the NFC.
I'm not shocked. I mean, for the AFC North, you got the Vikings at 7-8, the Packers at 7-8, the Bears at 6-9, and you get the Falcons at 7-8, the Saints at 7-8, and then the Rams are 8-7, and the Seahawks are 8-7. I mean, it's one big mediocrity bowl.
Yeah, somehow there's 7 teams above 500 in the NFC, but
Yep.
Ones that are below are way below. Most of half of them anyway.
Which team is getting the number one choice this year?
That's still up in the air.
Is it?
Yes, because while the Panthers are 2-13. Well, I don't know, because New England has 4 wins, so they could still get it if the Panthers somehow win their final 2 games.
Yeah, the Cardinals still got a chance.
Right, and the Cardinals are, I think, 3 and yeah. Essentially, the Cardinals are a game back of the Panthers are getting the Bears pick. Well, they're giving the Bears the pick.
Washington's probably going to lose their last 2 games, but if the Panthers lose one, they'll.
Essentially, their magic number is like 1 or 2. I don't know what the tiebreaker is for Carolina and Arizona. Did they play each other this year?
But the Bears are probably the favorites to have that number 1 pick right now.
No, they didn't play the Cardinals this year, so it's probably interconference record or interdivision record, I would think. And let's look at their interconference. Or it's probably a record among common opponents is probably the number 1, right?
I'm not sure how they do that for the draft.
Or do they just go down to a coin? Let me see if there's rules on. Okay. Situations where teams finish the identical records, termination of draft position by strength of schedule, the aggregate winning percentage of the team's opponents.
Hmm.
So I could do this pretty quickly here.
Officer with off-duty witness a crime at a Chief gas station, and the suspect shot him. Greensboro Police Chief was emotional.
No, they don't give their records here. Yeah, I mean, I guess there'll be people who have that done. So that is the, that's the tiebreaker. Oh, and then next week is next Monday is Black Monday,
Yep.
and the coaches get their pink slips, and there's probably going to be about 4 or 5, we think.
Mhm.
With Greensboro Police and family and loved ones, every effort must be made to apprehend those responsible.
And also, I guess we passed the halfway point from the point when spring training starts. I mean, you're only a little over a month and a half-ish, right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Won't be long.
Nope.
Well, I was reading where a guy the Orioles were trying to get signed with the Reds, a pitcher. So, so I don't know what they're going to do now.
Well, the closer they had last year is still going to be. He's got Tommy
He's
John,
off all
right?
year. He's
off
gone
all
for
year,
the whole
okay.
year.
Oh, Frankie Montas.
Yeah, Montas went. He got traded to the Reds, didn't he?
Yeah, he may have gotten traded, but that the Orioles were trying to get him, I think.
Agrees to $16 million deal for just 1 year.
Oh, okay. So I guess it was a free agent. Okay.
So, are you guys going to be staying in house for New Year's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless I get a phone call or something.
Yeah, I'm not going no place.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I think when one buddy's probably working, like I said, I could get somebody from church saying, "Hey, why don't you come over?" Or my brother might say, "Hey, why don't you come over?" So,
Right.
So did you say you were doing a trivia thing one night where it was like the people lost in 2023, the people who
yes, there was a one round where they had pictures of. There were 10 people who essentially, I think, no, it was more than that. It was like 15, I think, or 15 or 16 of people that were lost in 2023. We missed 2 of them. One was the actress who played the original Wednesday Addams.
go on the old series,
What's that?
the TV
The original series, yes.
I don't know who that was.
Let's see. Let's see here. That was. Lisa Loring.
Oh,
Huh.
And then, hold on.
Come on, buddy. You won't come up here? You want to say hi to people? Walter. Want to say hi to people?
And then Ian Falconer, who created Olivia the Pig, was a Caldecott winner. Because he got to throw something on there that was, not. Let's say there was. Let's see, he had the game show host that passed.
Trebek?
No, he passed a few years ago.
Oh,
Daytime game show.
Barker?
Yes. You had
Walker passed this way this year.
Yep, and then you had the former first lady.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
Carter, Rosalind
Yep.
Carter.
Rosalind Carter. Yep. He
Had
had.
Kissinger.
Yep, had him. You had a famous, I don't want to say, I guess you could say comedian who was involved in a scandal in the early 90s. Had his own show and had 4 movies at least, just with his name on it.
Huh.
Oh, a comedian?
I guess you could call him a comedian.
He was kind of just an actor that did comedy, or
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I mean, okay, I couldn't give you his alter ego, but like he was also in the movie Blow, not as his alter ego, but by his real name.
I never saw that.
Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. He had 2 musicians. One is a noted guitarist.
I don't remember for this year.
Jeff Beck.
Okay.
Huh.
And the other was a guy that was in a group, and I also shared a birthday with me.
I'm not real good with musicians.
David Crosby.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else did they have?
Did they have any sports people like Brooks Robinson or?
Don't remember. I think he might have had 1 or 2 sports people, but not.
They had the one that was it Wakefield or one from Boston.
No, they
Jim
didn't have
Brown,
him.
too, wasn't it?
He's trying not to be too,
Jim Brown passed away too this year, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Another musician, Tina Turner. They did have Tina Turner on there.
Right, Tina Turner, yeah.
Let's see here. Did not have Sinead O'Connor. She passed away this year.
Did she?
Yes.
What?
And he also had another musician. Jimmy Buffett.
Oh,
Oh.
Jimmy Buffett, that's right.
What did Sinead O'Connor pass away from?
It was never known. I'm going to guess suicide.
It probably. She had some. It seemed like had some mental health issues.
And then
Depression.
there was the Indians/Guardians super fan, John Adams, the guy that banged the drum.
Oh yeah, okay.
Actually got a mention in the New York Times that he passed, and that was kind of, no. Oh, there was a guy named Topol. He was a Chaim Topol. He was a Israeli actor and singer, and he was in Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, okay.
He was on there. Let's see here. Jeff Beck. Didn't have Harry Belafonte. I was like, okay. Didn't have Tony Bennett. I think he might have had Vita Blue.
Huh.
Oh, and the guy that was on Homicide, Life on the Streets.
Yeah.
Andre Brower, yeah. Didn't have him. I thought it was Lance Reddick from The Wire, who also passed away in 2023. But no. And then Lance Reddick was also one of Sheldon's teachers in Young Sheldon.
Oh, okay.
I only know that by like clips of stuff. Let's see here. Jimmy Buffett. He didn't have Dick Buckus. Rosalind Carter.
Are there any of those Indians pitchers from the 50s that are still alive?
Herb Score is deceased.
About Lemon or Feller? Or...
Feller and Lemon are both deceased.
Garcia, was it? They had Early Win.
let's see here. I'm going to just kind of pull up from, let's see here. It's the starting five here. Yeah, no, Lemon's been gone for a while. He died in 2000. Feller died in 2010. Early Wynn died in 1999. And Mike Garcia died in 1986. That was from the 50 team. Steve Gromek, who was a reliever, died in 2002. Let's see if they had anybody else in the 50s.
Herb Score wasn't there long, was he?
No, like 2-3 years, I think.
What
One
happened
in 55, and I think he might have got hit in the face in 56 or 57.
Oh, and that ended his career pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. I could give you and then I know this year there was also like Vic Davalillo passed away.
Right. Yeah, just recently.
Yeah, like I can go on Baseball Reference and pull in all the.
Oh, I know.
This year. And then we had former Oriole Ryan Miner.
Ryan Miner just died, yeah.
From cancer.
The guy that replaced Ripken.
Yep. Let's see. Jesus Alou, Sal Bando. Yeah. Let's see. Nate Colbert, who was one of the first All-Stars for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
Alex Cole, former Indians leadoff hitter before Kenny Lofton. And then Pat Corrales, former Indians manager.
Yeah.
Are the other two Alou brothers still around?
Let's see. There's
Matty and Felipe.
Felipe, I believe, is still alive. Let's see here. Matty died in 2011.
Oh.
And Felipe is still alive. I believe.
Matty was a pretty good hitter for average in his career. And
yeah. Felipe is 88 years old. So Roger Craig, Big Devil Leo. Yeah, Dick Drago, who gave up Hank Aaron's last career home run. Fun fact, that's the only fun fact I know about him. I guess he did play for the Red Sox. So when I told Al, he was a little kind of like, oh, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, it was kind of back news. Dick Grote, who happened to call Pitt basketball. He's a heck of a basketball player too. Until he was in his mid 80s, he did color commentary for basketball.
He was a good player at short for the
Pirates.
Pirates.
He was an MVP, I believe, too.
He had a batting title one year, didn't he?
I believe so. Let's see here. Probably
I think he did one year in our early 60s.
Yeah, in 60. He won the MVP and had a 325 average above the league.
Yeah.
And then another ex-Oriole, pitcher Dick Hall. He passed
Dick
this year.
Hall, okay.
Let's see. Willie, don't call me Guillermo Hernandez, former Tiger, passed away.
Yeah. He was MVP or a Cy Young winner in '84, wasn't he?
Was he Cy Young and MVP?
I think he was Cy Young.
Yeah, Cy Young and MVP in '84. Yeah. Cy Young and MVP. Let's see here.
Which for a
Don
closer,
Hood, at least I've heard the name. Danny McGinna, original Expo. Jim Poole, another ex-Indian and ex-Oriole, succumbed to ALS.
Any of those, Palmer, I guess, but the 1971 Orioles starters, they had 420-game winners. It was what, Dobson, Cuellar,
McNally,
and
Palmer,
yeah.
Cuellar.
Palmer's still alive, I think.
Oh, yeah, Palmer's still alive, yeah.
Yeah, I think almost all of them are still living.
I think they're still all pretty much intact.
Let's see. Is Cuellar still? Cuellar died in 2010, and
Cuellar
Dobson
died
died
in
in
2010.
2006. Wow, I'm kind of shocked. So I know Palmer's still living, and
Palmer,
Dave McNally died
he
in
does
06.
he does the stuff on MSN for the Oriole games.
Right.
Him and Ben McDonald does
Okay.
the colorman.
And then Palmer's
I
the
think
only one
McNally's
that's still alive. No, McNally died in 2002.
Yeah, McNally died, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then Grant Jackson passed away in like 2020 or 2021 from COVID. 2021, yeah. Let's see here. Eddie Watt is still alive. Let's see if Tom Dukes is still alive. Yeah, Tom Dukes is still alive. And let's see here. Pete Reichert is still alive. So you figure that's 52 years ago. So they're either in their 80s or,
El Presidente's still alive, I believe.
Yep. Dennis Martinez is still alive. I'd heard about that with him being a former Indian.
Besides Nolan Ryan, are there any Miracle Mets still alive?
Ron Swoboda, I believe, is still alive. Let's see here. You want to start? I'll start with the pitching staff.
Nolan Ryan, I know, but
actually, let's start with the hitters. I believe Jerry is Grody still around?
The catcher?
Yeah, he's still alive at 81. I think Ed Kranepool might have. No, Ed Kranepool. No, he's still alive. Yeah, Kranepool's he'll be 80 next year, so he's still kind of young.
Okay.
Let's see here. Ken Boswell is still alive. Bud Harrelson's still alive, but I believe he has dementia, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Let's see. Wayne Garrett is still alive. Leon Jones is still alive.
Tommy Agee?
No, he died in 2001. And Swoboda is still alive. Let's see here. Art Shamsky is still alive. I think Al Weiss might be. No, Al Weiss is still alive at 85. Good gravy.
Ed Charles?
He's deceased. I know that much. Don Clendenin died in 2005. I think he died in Charles died in 2015, I think. 2018. Okay, because I know I did a in memoriam game for him, I think.
Art Shamsky?
He's still alive. I believe Amos Otis is still alive. I mean, I don't think he played in the postseason, though.
How about Gentry, the pitcher?
Let's see. Gary is still alive. We know Seaver's deceased. And is Jared Kuzman still alive? Yes, he is.
Kuzman. So they got a fair number of them still with us.
Yeah. Let's see. Don Cardwell passed away in 2008. Jim McAndrew is still alive.
Did they have a McGraw or something too?
Yeah, Tug was on the team, but we know he's gone.
Yeah.
And then Cal Kuntz passed away in 93. He's a former Cub. And Ron Taylor, who was only one of the few usable guys in the 67 replay that I did, he's still alive. So there's a good number of 69 Mets that are still alive.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I created a season of Strat, Tim, with 12 teams of the past.
Okay.
And I picked the ones that I put in there were, and I'm in through game 5 or something like that. But I got the 1911 Philadelphia Athletics, which when you look at their ratings, their defense is very good.
Okay.
Even by today's standards, with the range and E ratings, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
They hit for average. They got a lot of speed and really good pitching, just no power. They got the 24 Senators, which
Okay.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
yeah, but in his second start, Walter Johnson's not doing too good through 2 starts, but he's given up 6 home runs in 2 games.
Wow.
Yikes.
I've got the 1927 World Series teams, the Pirates and the Yankees.
Okay.
Now, compared to these teams, the Yankees, I mean, they have Ruth and Gehrig, but some other teams have more power than they do. I mean, it's just for their time that was loaded,
Right.
and they hit for real good average. So, I mean, that'll probably be okay for them in that way. 1953 Dodgers, who offensively are just outstanding. Talk about power, man, up and down. Pitching numbers aren't the greatest, but they could hit for sure.
They still have like Don Newcomb and
Yeah, well, they've got Erskine, and he's like the ace, and let's see, Johnny Padres was on the team, but he was like the 4th guy. I can't remember all the guys that they have right offhand, but Schoolboy Rowe, I think.
okay.
Anyway, the 54 World Series teams, the Giants and the Indians, and I think the Indians are probably the best team out of this group, just looking at the way things match up, but because they don't really have a weakness. They hit for average, they hit for power, they have outstanding pitching up and down. The Giants have an incredible lineup, though, and
Right.
a decent staff. The 68 World Series teams, the Cardinals and the Tigers. Cardinals have great pitching, but their offense is pathetic. So they're going to have problems.
Right.
The 69 Orioles and Mets, and the 69 Mets just are getting their ass handed to them every time I play.
The 69 to 71 Orioles, like Strat must have done something to repay them or something.
The 69 Orioles team looks loaded when you compare it to some of the teams. I mean, they're going to be tough. The 69 Mets are, like I say, they're getting their ass handed to them out there. But
yeah,
the 27 Pirates just destroyed them in a game I played recently.
right. Because
and then the other team, the 12th team that I added is the 24 Kansas City Monarchs.
And team. Okay.
They hit for average, don't really have a lot of power. Pitching, it's kind of they got a starter or two that can kind of hold their own.
But me wonders what I could be doing, because I'd rather not do, like, whenever I get done with this. I may extrapolate this out till RJL gets done with the 72 season, so I can do 72 Clemente, because I don't want to do another 72 while he's doing one.
Yeah.
Although I could do 72 Gaylord Perry.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic that year. He went 24-16 with a 1.96 ERA and won the Cy Young Award.
Wow.
It was on a not good Indians team.
Yeah.
I had to see the 76 Cy Young Award winners and see about doing something with that. 97 and 98 were all about offense, and those were the only 2 seasons.
Of course, 72 was Clemente's last season, too.
That's why I wanted to play the Pirates thing, but since RJL's doing, 72, that will take up about a quarter of the year.
And it was the last year of pitchers batting in the AL.
Yep. Yeah. I could do a worst of 7 for the 72 Rangers and the 18 Orioles.
Yeah, I was going to say that it was the first year of the Texas Rangers.
Yep. And they were awful. 213 team batting average.
Well, yeah, like 57 wins or something like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. White Sox were kind of bad too, I think, that year, weren't they?
In what year?
No. That was the Dick Allen year. Dick Allen had a real good year.
Oh yeah, Dick Allen was fantastic. That's in fact he's the number one pick for any 72 strat draft.
Yeah.
Cesar Geronimo is also not a bad kind of first round pick.
And how many games did Wilbur Wood start that year? Like 47, 49? So I can't remember. Well, they had 2 or 3 pitchers that started over 40 games that year, I think.
Let's see for the White Sox 72.
Yeah, I think they had 3 pitchers that started over 40 games. But Wilbur Wood had like 47 to 49, somewhere in that range.
Was that the year that he pitched started both ends of a doubleheader?
Yes.
They had 3 starters. Wilbur Wood started 49 games. Tom Bradley started 40, and Stan Bonson pitched 40 and started 41.
Yeah.
They
That's
essentially
130 of their games right there out of 154, 155.
Yeah, there's 130 right there.
Yeah. So they only had 25 starts unaccounted for. Let's say 20.
Let's see. You had Dave Lemons, started 18.
So he was about 7.
Goose Gossage started 1. Eddie Fisher started 4.
He's a couple.
And Jim Geddes started 1. So there's your.
Okay, so 154 was it then?
Let's see what their record was. They were 154. Yeah. And Chuck Tanner was their manager. They were 87 and 67. They were not terrible.
Yeah, that's right. The White Sox bad year was maybe the next year.
77 and 85. Not great, but not the worst.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what year it was that they only won. Maybe it was 69. There was a year they only won, maybe it was 71 too, 60-something games.
70, they won 56. And that was when they brought Chuck Tanner in at the end of the season. Because they were not very good in the late 60s. Now, 67, they were okay.
Yeah, 67, their pitching was great, but their bats were kind of weak.
Maybe I need to think about maybe doing a 67 White Sox replay.
Yeah, Peters and Horland were great that year.
And then Tommy John went 10 and 13.
Yeah. But you look at their bats, and it's just there's not a whole lot there. Tommy Agee was about the best they got.
Yeah. And he hit 234.
Yeah, but he had like 16 home runs or something.
14. Pete Ward had 18, and then Don Buford before he got the fountain of life with the Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buford had a really good season in '69 for the Orioles.
Oh yeah, Buford. Yeah.
So Don Buford did in 69. 69 wasn't with them. They had Willie Aparicio in 69.
Yeah, Buford was with the Orioles in '69.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do for projects next year.
They still haven't announced what their season's going to be next year, huh?
I would wait till maybe middle end of January, because that way they can announce it a couple weeks. Well, they get better
They released it early February,
because opening day is usually mid-February, and they usually let people do pre-orders for new seasons.
Yeah.
I know that they had done 69 as sort of like a pop-up thing. I would love to see 93 or 95. If they do either of them, I might jump on that. Especially 95. Maybe 95, I'm all on that.
What about 93? Is it that you like?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe because I want to play the Blue Jays, I guess.
Yeah. The Blue Jays, their pitching wasn't really that good, but they won the World Series anyway. Morris, his numbers look bad. Stewart's numbers look bad. But somehow they
Juan
still,
Guzman was really good.
yeah. Olerud had a great year, and then they
Well, didn't they have 3 players hit like
Alomar.
320? Or they went 1, 2, 3 in the for the batting title, I think.
maybe Olerud, he challenged for 400 there for a while.
Yeah, so did Luis Arise for this year. You get anybody that hits 340 now in the big leagues, and that's doing something. But, well, I think the main appeal of '93 was the last year of the 2-division format.
Yeah.
So the Steelers only won once in Seattle in their history. Wow. Okay. No, but I think that's the big appeal for '93. Plus, 14-year-old me would like that.
93 Marlins replay.
What's that?
You could do a 93 Marlins replay.
Yeah, you could with Charlie Huff in Game 1. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because '95 would be all about the offense, and I think I'd have to do that. You kind of have to do that in super advanced.
That was if I was ever going to do a Yankees replay, which I never really considered it, '95 would probably be one of the team I would go with because they had that was Mattingly's last year. That was the game that they lost up in Seattle with Ken Griffey scoring that game-winning run and everything, and they had Blackjack McDowell as like their ace, and
Hello.
David Cohn. That was essentially.
it was the year before they won the World Series. It's just,
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I have '98 for the Yankees, so if I ever wanted to do that
they
year,
wipe everybody
there's
out.
no way they're winning that many games in that replay.
114 or
Yeah,
if I want to say I want to say they like stumbled out of the gate too a little bit that first week. They were kind of like, well, what's wrong with the Yankees?
Yeah, because my issue is like, or if you try to do any long winning streak,
Yeah,
not going to happen.
no, and pretty.
I think my longest winning streak was when I did the 16 Twins. I think they won their first 8 games, and that's a long winning streak for dice games.
You'd get the 41 and try to redo the hitting streak of Joe DiMaggio.
Demos tried that, and I think he got 3 games.
3 games. That was it.
Yep. He was the first person that I watched because he had his Made Madness, and he took the 69 Orioles all the way. They won their title. Spoiler alert for anybody that wants to go back. And it was, 2015 he did that. It was before I bought my first Strat set. And you've both heard the story about how I got my first Strat set, right?
What's that?
Have you both heard the story about how I got my first Strat set?
No.
Okay, so I had sort of, after watching demos and all that, I'm like, maybe I'll try this out. So I had an Amazon gift card. And so my first set was they did, I don't know if they still do or not, they do the 4 playoff teams and then the 2 all-star teams. So my first set cost me $0. Because it was covered by Amazon. So I still have that sitting somewhere for the 2015 Cubs, Mets.
What year was that?
2015.
2015.
Yeah, so that's Cubs, Mets, Blue Jays, and Royals. So they give you those 4 teams, and then they have the 2 all-star teams. And plus, since I got the box set, I got all the charts and the playboard and the all that for free. So you didn't have to pay extra for getting that, because usually the first set that you get, you have to pay extra for including the box and the charts and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
It's
that
not-
was your
it's
that was
$5,
your
$10.
introduction to the game, was in 2015.
Yes, for watching videos on it. My friend Chris had always talked about it, but never played it. Never said, "Hey, come over and try this out." So yeah, so I played that for a little bit. And the first full set that I got was 1971,
Uh-huh.
of which Vice said he's going to pay me back, but we ended up doing a draft league from it. And one of my teams, we drafted 2 teams apiece. One of my teams had a 3-1 series lead in the finals and lost.
Oh,
Huh.
who was that?
Oh God, no. We drafted individual players. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. It wasn't actual team that was made up of
Right.
like your own draft. Okay.
Yeah. And there were many 11 o'clock nights where we'd play a couple games and be done within. Oh, it's probably took about a half hour a game. Because we know the rules pretty well, and we played it was a hybrid, advanced, super advanced for the X charts.
Yeah, I had a coworker that introduced me to the game back in 2002 or 2003. And we were playing a couple of the 68. Like, he was a Cardinal fan, so it was Cardinals and Cubs, and he goes, he says, you can see that's pretty low scoring or something like that. If you want something with more offense, he had the 27 set. So he said, I want to play as the Pirates and you can be the Yankees, and we'll do a World Series. Like, it wasn't really a replay. We just kind of managed our own teams, created our own lineups and everything. Well, he got up 3-0 on me with the Pirates. And then I ended up winning 4 in a row after that.
Oh.
He was kind of a competitive guy, though, so he was really kind of excited about being up 3-0 with the Pirates. And we were up to game, let's say, 5, I think, after I pulled out game 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one of those middle innings, and the Yankees batters were just teeing off on his pitcher, and I think whoever had their pitcher out there was rolling the dice, and at one point he just kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, he says,
Mm-hmm.
because it just kept coming up good for the Yankees. But and I'm one, when I'm playing a game against somebody, I'm just having fun with the game. I'm not really thinking about, it's me against this other person. It's I'm enjoying the game itself, and just like, okay, I'm managing this team, you're doing that team, we're both trying to win, but I don't get competitive about it, But yeah, but the game, I playing with him, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of fun, I didn't get real excited about it, but then after I went to the site and stuff, and I ordered my first stuff, and then it was like the anticipation of it was exciting and stuff, and then I got to playing with it on my own tabletop and that, and it was like, man, this is a lot of fun, man.
Also, I'd like to think that because they started later and with having guides on how to pretty much play and kind of knowing pretty much how to play.
Yeah.
Once
you understand, when you first start out, you're thinking, I'm never going to be able to remember all this, but you do within a short amount of time. It's like you just know what the rules are and how things work and how to.
The interesting one is that super advanced hit and run. It has a little bit more nuances.
Yeah.
Like in fact, Earl had a game and they did a hit and run, and there was a line out, and any line out on a hit and run is max outs.
Yeah.
But you still have to roll and you can house rule it if you want, I've
probably played 2 to 3,000 games over the last couple decades. And I've had, I think, one triple play.
Oh,
Yeah, I had one in my 07 playoffs.
Did you?
Yeah, the Indians won. I think one of the
Yeah.
Indians players hit me.
And
a
I think
triple
I've
play.
had maybe 3 no-hitters.
See, I my closest one was the 67 Mike McCormick replay, 8 2/3,
Oh, man, 1 out away.
1 out away.
I just did an exhibition game with the 66 Athletics and Indians. And it was Catfish Hunter against maybe Louis Tiant or McDowell, Sam McDowell, who both had ERAs, I think, under 2 that year for the Indians. It was either Tiant or McDowell. And Hunter pitched a no-hitter against the Indians.
And in fact, he pitched a perfect game in '68. Hunter did.
Did he? For the Oakland Athletics. That was their first year in Oakland.
Because he was the last pitcher to throw a perfect game before Len Barker did in '81.
Okay.
And one of the reasons
Was that for the Indians? Barker?
Yeah. '81 he would have been with the Indians, yeah.
That was it in the first half of the season or the second after the strike?
Would have been the first half. It was a cold, dreary May 15th night, which only 7,000 people were there, but there's
it's
many
probably
others that
about
claimed to be
20,000 claim to have been there.
right. Yeah. Cold, dark, dreary night with Danny Ainge playing shortstop.
For the Blue Jays?
Yes. And against Louis Leal was the other pitcher. And Louis Leal actually pitched a pretty good game himself, but George Orta's home run in the 7th or 8th inning. I've seen the game like once all the way through. You had Al Woods and Rick Bassetti and Ernie Witt pinch hit. Buck Martinez, I think, started the game at catcher.
Yeah.
Then John Mayberry was also playing.
Did they have a player named Alt or something?
Doug Alt may not have been playing with them at that point.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's
and both pitchers went the distance.
That's the benefit of playing games, baseball and stuff, is you know a lot of the names for the players on the teams and stuff, and a lot of that kind of sticks with you. Well, and you kind of even remember some of the generally how well they played and stuff,
Yeah. I'll admit the issue with doing the 95 Indians is that they had 27 victories in their last at bat.
I couldn't hear you over. I'm sorry about it.
If I did a 95 Indians replay, 27 of their wins came in their final at bat.
Oh, yeah.
So either bottom of the 9th, bottom of the 8th, or extra innings, or 9th inning. Top of the.
Well, that lineup was just scary.
Yeah. Defensively, they're okay. Jim Thomey's going to have a lot of errors from third base. Sorrento should be a 3, possibly an E0, maybe. I could look it up on my phone, but
at first base.
Yeah, because he didn't allow many errors. Like, he was really good defensively. Not like a 1, but like his error ratings
Couldn't
really
get much better than Vizquel at short.
Yeah, Vizquel, I think he'll be like an E11 or E12, I think.
With a 1 range.
Yeah. In fact, let me look it up here. But
what was it, Baerga at second that year?
Yes, he'll probably be a 3, probably in the 20 range for errors. And then you had Albert Bell, probably be a 3 with a 0 arm. Lofton will probably be a 1 or a 2 with a plus arm.
Ramirez.
And then Ramirez will probably be a 3 with I'll probably say a 0 arm.
Yeah.
And then Herb Perry will probably be a 1 or a 2 range. And then Alvaro Espinosa will probably be a 3, maybe a 4. Let's see here. this up here.
If you move, go to the company store.
So get moving. Come in for your refitting.
1995.
Land Mitsubishi, so don't wait.
Let's see here. Okay, so Sandy Alomar is he is a 2-catcher, no arm, E1, throwing error rating of 4. That's not bad.
Right.
And pass ball rating of 4.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Spierga is a 3 E24. Okay, so that's about right.
Yeah. Not a terrible E rating, but it's
a
he's
little
a
high.
yeah.
I'm just going to go alphabetical order. Albert Bell is a 4 with a +1 arm.
I thought he might have been a 3 that year.
Yeah, I thought he threw a few guys out, so I'm surprised at that +1. Let's see. Espinoza.
Well, he should get his shot with a +1 arm. You're going to get a few shots at throwing guys out, probably.
Right. Espinoza is
going to challenge him.
A 2 range at third, a 3 range at short, a 3 range at second, and a 4 range at first.
Vizquel's only got a 3?
No, this is Alvaro Espinoza.
Oh, Espinoza. Okay.
Yeah, he's a 10 E rating at third, which means he came into a lot of games late in the game. Or he was just the utility guy that he hit. Well, he played a lot against lefties. Let's see here. Here's Kenny Lofton. Lofton is a 1. He's a -2 arm. Okay.
Oh, really?
E12.
I didn't know he had that good of an arm.
I didn't either.
Wow.
E12, so he takes a lot of chances.
Yeah, if you're in double figures as an outfielder and the error number, that's not real good.
Let's see. I don't really want to pull up Eddie Murray's numbers or Tony Pena's numbers.
You know that Prime 9 show they have on MLB Network?
Which is taped from like the early 2010s? Yeah.
Yes. Well, one of their top infields of all time was the 99 Mets.
With Ray Ordonez, John Olerud,
Yeah.
Roberto Alomar.
I don't think so. I was wondering, they had like an Espinoza or something like that on their team.
Let's see who their infield was in '99. Actually, well, they were a wild card team, so yeah, of course they were because they. Yeah, he had Olerud at first, Edgardo Alfonso at second. He was a good hitter at least. Ray Ordonez at short and Robin Ventura at third.
Ventura, yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I guess you could say that was at least one of the better hitting fields. Ventura and Olerud are not shabby on the corners, and then Ordonez is a better fielder than he was a hitter. So I see their point there.
Oh,
I think they were grading them more on their defense on that, but
yeah, the problem was that the 95 Indians defensively, I wouldn't call them great. I'd put the 01 Indians as a better defensive team than the 95 Indians. That's when you had Alomar and Vizquel up the middle with Travis Fryman at third and Jim Thome at first.
And then another team that was on that Prime 9 best infield, I think it was defense, is what mostly, again, what they were grading them on more than offense, was the 14 Athletics.
1914?
1914.
Okay, see, my problem is once you get past 67, I kind of lose perspective on everything, and it kind of really doesn't, I was like, well, why don't you get this set, or why don't you get that set? I'm like, I wouldn't have fun doing it. Like, or get the 1954 Indians. I'm like, I mean, okay, I guess, but like, I'm not getting the 1920 set because the Indians won the World Series. Like, I have no connection to any of them. They just be names on a paper.
So that 1914 athletic infield is the same one that they have on that 1911 team. That I've got that collection of 12 teams, and they're good on there. That's
Okay.
1911. Stuffy McInnes, Eddie Collins, Jack Berry, and Home Run Baker.
Okay, I've heard of two of the names. Well, part of this is thanks to
Baker.
Legend Sports Universe. Eddie Collins and Home Run Baker.
Yeah.
Is Scott Bitter going to be here? Scott Bitter, of course, being the general manager, who held on to Brian Purdy.
Yeah.
Very lucrative trade offer.
Oh, well, you that right. I mean,
Collins is a Hall of Famer, I think.
Yeah, Collins is a Hall of Famer. And now I get to read. He was a writer for the Kansas City Royals, or still is actually.
They could do a deal where they tag and trade him to try to get some assets back, but it's hard to. I mean,
Bill Posnanski wrote this book, Baseball 100.
Oh,
Oh,
My friend gave to me back a few years ago for Christmas, and I kind of.
and what's that? What's the 100?
It's essentially his ranking of his 100 best baseball players.
Oh, okay.
I am now in the middle of Bob Gibson at number 45.
Oh,
Um,
did you say 45 or 25?
45.
45.
I could. I hope he does not give a table of contents. Good.
I was thinking the other day of looking at the Baseball Hall of Fame and seeing what positions need more players in there. I'm sure there's plenty of first basemen, plenty of third basemen, probably
Second
plenty of
base is
outfielders.
probably one that does not have that many.
Second base.
I would think.
I was thinking middle infield, maybe. There's probably some fair number of shortstops, but yeah, you're probably right. The catchers, maybe too. Catchers and second
catchers probably need more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, more recent names, yes, because from the '90s you have like Pudge Rodriguez, and maybe you'll get Buster Posey and Joe Mauer coming up soon. But yeah, or Mike Piazza is another '90s name.
Yeah. Is Posada, you think, Hall of Fame caliber? No.
Number of World Series titles would have given him something, yes, but he was never prominent defensively or won an MVP. Pudge Rodriguez won an MVP.
Yeah.
So, and so Mike Piazza. I believe Piazza won an MVP. If not, he was at least a many-time All-Star. I don't think Posada was an
He was
All-Star.
a rookie of the year, we know.
Right. I'll have to see how many All-Star teams Jorge Posada made. I don't think it was that many, to be honest with you.
Okay.
5 times. Okay. So, but compared to Piazza, who was a 12-time All-Star, and Ivan Rodriguez, who was a 14-time All-Star. And a lot of that's on reputation, a little bit, I think. But I'm trying to think of the second baseman. It's like what, Joe Morgan,
Sandberg's in there.
Sandberg, yeah. And you probably have to go back to like before I was.
Tony Lazzari.
Okay.
Eddie Collins.
Okay.
Red Sox got one in there. Was it Dorr or Cronin? One of those guys that played.
Okay, so there's But the problem is most of the second basemen were pretty much slap hitters.
Yeah. Alomar, right?
Right, and he's in. So,
But Davy Johnson is he in?
No, Davy Johnson's not in the Hall of Fame.
Shane
Not
No.
even as a manager.
Indians might be. I'm not sure.
Red is, I believe he's in. Red is in the Hall of Fame, yes.
Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News Sunday. I'm Tina Guest. It's caught up on what's needed to know our Tuesday forecast. Maddie.
Let me see if you can do Hall of Famers by position.
Over the next couple of days, we're going to take a look at your holiday forecast. But first week of 2024.
Bill Mazeroski.
Yep. Let's see here. Hall of Fame by position. Okay, here we go. Baseball Hall of Fame website does Hall of Famers by position.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you have at least players that played.
Roger Hornsby.
Yes. You got a guy that started as a catcher and then played second base and then played center field.
Oh, Biggio.
You had the guy that was a great slap hitter, played first base towards the end of his career. Won a batting title in 1971. And Adam Sandler said that he converted to be a Jewish person.
What league?
American League.
A slap hitter?
Yes, mainly. Born in Panama.
Trying to get mine back on the 70s here. You say you finished at first base?
I believe so, yes. Twins, Angels.
Oh, Peru.
Yes. Okay, so we mentioned Eddie Collins, Bobby Dorr, Johnny Evers,
Uh-huh.
Nellie Fox.
Oh, Nellie
Frankie
Fox.
Frisch
Yeah,
was a second baseman.
who?
Frankie Frisch.
Frisch, yeah, Cardinals.
Fish,
and the
yeah, okay.
Charlie Gehringer from the Tigers.
Tigers, yeah.
Joe Gordon, who played for the Indians in 48.
And the Yankees as well, I think.
Yep.
Or,
Billy Herman.
yeah, he played for the Cubs and another team, didn't
We mentioned Roger Hornsby. Nap Lajoie.
he? Who?
Nap Lajoie was a second baseman. Lajoie. Nap.
Oh, LaJoy.
Yeah,
Nap
it's
LaJoy.
like
Matt LaJoy, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the team was referred to as the Cleveland Naps after him for a while.
Yep, it certainly was. We mentioned Lazeri. We mentioned Bill Mazeroski. Let's see, there's Ben McPhee.
Oh, that was way back, yeah.
Yeah, way back. And then we mentioned Joe Morgan, Jackie Robinson,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sandberg, and Shane Beast. So that's it for, so it's 4, 8, 16, only 20.
Yeah.
So I would agree. The middle infielders probably need a little bit more love. Compared to, let's see how many shortstops.
Trammell got in recently.
Mm-hmm. 4, 8, only 16 shortstops.
Ozzie Smith.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
And again, was it Cronin?
Hold on. No, there's more than that. Hold on.
I know Cronin and Dorr were the middle infield for the Red Sox in the late 40s, and they both are in.
26 shortstops. At least played shortstop.
Phil Rizzuto.
Yep.
Mark Belanger?
No.
Cal Ripken Jr. for
No, he didn't make it. Okay.
Yep. And Joe Cronin. Yep.
let's see.
22 years of service to the department and this community.
And you don't have to name them all. I mean,
Is
there's a-
Al Dark, Pee Wee Reese,
yep, Pee Wee Reese. Yep.
Fallen officer and a cream ready for a Pegame family.
Governor Roy Cooper issued a statement overnight pledging his support.
I feel like I thought about it.
Well, you had a shortstop that started as a shortstop, but was mainly a center fielder.
Every effort must be made to apprehend
American League, 80s.
in this tragic situation.
Started as a shortstop, mostly in center field.
For the Black Chevy Equinox with North Carolina tag
I don't know.
KK43.
I don't know if I'm going to get that.
1982 AL MVP.
On air in Governor Free WSBC.
82.
Well, hey, it's already 2024.
Oh, Robin Young.
There you go.
Two celebrations of the year on the radio.
Let's see. There's also the 1995 National League MVP.
Having our fireworks and celebrations. Now here in Charlotte, we still have about
85. That was
95.
Willie McGee.
95.
Oh, 95.
looking to bring in the new year. And this year,
National League MVP.
country on high alert ahead of those celebrations. ABC Morgan Marwood is in Times Square with a look
The
at how
Braves won the World Series, but that would have been probably Blauser. And I don't
Played the
think
Braves in the LCS.
as the clock ticks down to 2024.
Beat the Braves.
played against the Braves in the LCS.
Yes.
Major cities from coast to coast preparing to secure massive
I
celebrations.
remember who they played that year.
Potential safety threats, including lone attacks motivated by the
That was 3 division winners and a wild card.
In New York City, more than 1 million people will pack into Times Square to walk through an iconic ball drop. Barricades lining the blocks. Thousands of officers on patrol. The Los Angeles police service will watch over the more than 400,000
Barry Larkin?
affected on the street.
Yes.
The police and violent interrupters will be on the
There was talk that maybe there could have been an All Ohio World Series in '95, and it almost happened. Not almost. The Braves destroyed the Reds. Once they figured they could pitch, Reggie Sanders, he had a stroke where he could not hit anything above where his hands were.
Oh, really?
Once they figured that out and they could throw him strikes, it was over. Let me see if I can throw out some other.
Dave Concepcion's not in, is he?
No.
Good player.
Here's a fun one by Story. So one of the Hall of Fame shortstops hit a home run in an old timers game at like 75 years old.
Oh, we talked about that not too long ago.
Luke Appling.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Luke
Luke
Appling did
Luke
that. I
Appling,
was
yeah.
like, wow. Well, here he's a fantastic hitter. You got Louis Aparicio. You got Mr. Cub.
Thanks.
And then you got Lou Boudreau.
Yeah, Boudreaux.
Cal Ripken.
I thought Boudreaux was more of a second baseman, but maybe
I thought
not.
so too.
It's Cal Ripken under shortstops or third baseman.
He's under shortstop.
Oh, okay.
And then you got Huey Jennings and Derek Jeter.
Huey Jennings is way back.
Yeah, so is Rabbit Marinville.
Yeah, Rabbit Maryville.
And another Indian, Joe Sewell.
Yeah.
And then you got Evers' double playmate, Joe Tinker.
Yeah.
I believe Tinker, Evers, and Chance are all in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. They didn't get along with each other, right? From what I understand.
Yeah.
Off the
And then,
field.
two more old school players, Archie Vaughn and Honus Wagner.
Oh, Archie Vaughn. Yeah, very good. Yeah, Honus Wagner. I'd have got that eventually.
What are you doing? Where were you at?
I was thinking more of the 50s and 60s. But
Were you
Yeah,
getting in
Vaughn's in
trouble?
this guy's list of 100 best players. Let's see when this book came out. It's like 2016, 2017, I think it came out.
yeah, Archie came into the league around 1930, I think.
No, it's 2021. So this was a few years ago that I got this. So this will be my new nighttime reading because I just finished the Football for a Buck today.
Oh, okay.
It was a very easy read. And then the last one is they found who were the two guys that they found were in the final, the very, very final chapter for the USFL. Greg Big Paper Fields and a quarterback that they were looking for, Ed Luther.
They were
They
looking.
did a YouTube video on it. Ed Luther was the Jacksonville Bulls quarterback.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
yeah, that
it's
was
very insightful. They did not go too much into what they did with the check. They had a whole chapter on the trial, the USFL trial. But I remember they had I seen the news footage of with the English speaking lady who was essentially the lead juror talking to the media about finding, yes, they were a monopoly, but we did not find Donald Trump very likable.
Oh.
Huh.
And so they're like, and they also found one of the major things was that the USFL did the damage themselves, with poor.
I think they tried to grow too big too fast.
That and the fact that the owners overspent themselves.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They tried to compete with the NFL too much. I really think if that team would have just kind of stayed in their lane, and not been out there spending as much money as they did, they probably would have made it. Because it seemed like they had some popularity in some cities. They had some.
The thing was is that if they would have held on, they'd have played 86. 87 was a players' strike.
Yeah, right.
And you could have had all the players going, screw this, I don't want to play for them. I want to play for these guys.
Well, yeah, but they would have had to get a deal that they liked from the.
Well, I mean, not playing in the spring, in the fall, but you could have had all those players.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought up the San Antonio Gunslingers and how they just refused to pay the players. They were a dumpster fire. And the team did okay despite not being paid.
Yeah, I think if they would have just stuck with the original 12 teams, maybe even contracted a couple of them.
Right.
Because Washington moved to Orlando after a year.
Yeah, I read about their story.
Boston went to New Orleans.
Yeah. And then later to Portland.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Tampa Bay, I think, was pretty successful. Their owner was the leading force of the league there for a long time.
Right. John Bass.
Philadelphia seemed like they were doing well.
But then they had to move to Baltimore when they decided that they were going to talk about playing spring football, and then had to play their games in College Park, Maryland.
Yeah. But Michigan was doing well. I think Birmingham was doing well.
Yep.
Chicago's team, it seemed like, was doing fairly well until the owners with them in Arizona switched teams. And
then poor Marv Levy thought he was getting the good Chicago team, and he ended up getting the bad Chicago team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Arizona LA seemed like they were doing all right.
Yeah.
Oakland, I think, was
okay. To be fair, LA had a lot of talent. Their owner was a fraud.
Oh, okay.
The owner literally had no money.
Denver was competitive. I don't remember how they seemed like they had some fans when I was watching them play.
Right, and I've seen that there is there's a YouTube channel called This Is the USFL, and you can watch all the championship games.
Yeah,
on there. So
I want to watch old
USFL.
I was only about 12 years old when that started, but I enjoyed watching the USFL back when I was that age.
Yeah, the Philadelphia and /Baltimore team probably could have given, let's see, I'll say we're talking, this would have been, they probably wouldn't have given the Redskins a game, although the Redskins took Bryant.
Bryant.
Yeah. But you never know with Jim Mora coaching. They could have at least hung with them for 2 or 3 quarters for a one-off game.
And who did Michigan end up merging with?
They merged with, oh shit, I can't remember. I've read it too, and it's like, was it like a California team?
I don't remember. Houston probably would have been all right to hang on to, but San Antonio.
But they might have been Arizona. Oh, they merged with Oakland.
Oakland, okay.
Yeah, because
Reggie White was with Memphis.
Yep. And Michigan had Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter. And in fact, 2 out of the 3 Redskins receivers played in the USFL.
Yeah, Ricky Sanders and Gary Clark.
Yep.
Sanders was with Houston with Jim Kelly, I think.
Yes. And they ran the run and shoot offense. And Kelly in the one game against LA, which nobody went to. It was like 35-34, I think. Or something crazy. Let me see if I can pull this up here.
Was hosted by mothers of murdered offspring. Police officers found Hagen's dead inside the home on Flagler Lane, Northwest Charlotte, on Christmas Eve morning.
And then they went through a whole chapter with a 34-33 was that game between Houston and LA.
Friday morning crash and
I think if there had been a little bit more self-control and maybe a little less aggressiveness, a little more,
not hurting
keep their minds on an even keel. I think that league could have made it, but
yeah. So this was Jim Kelly and Steve Young combined to throw for 829 yards. Kelly threw for 574. LA had a 33-13 lead, and the Gamblers media relations director was heading to the down for interviews. And then Kelly led drives of 74, 43, and 84 yards. Drive meaning Richard Johnson, who I believe played for the Lions, right?
I don't know. That name doesn't really ring a bell with me.
Yeah, 52-yard touchdown. Vince Cootville had a 40-yard touchdown. And then Ricky Sanders had a 39-yard touchdown. And so they ran the no-huddle offense, and LA didn't know what to do.
What team did Gary Clark play for?
Clark was a...
Here's a beautiful community, and people want to live here. So you have to put up the occasional flood or fires that we've experienced. But it's home. Although there will be a break in the action. Another cold is expected to come on shore.
It was one of the '84 expansion teams. Pittsburgh.
And then the seconds remaining, Young hit was trying to lead a drive and was intercepted by Mel Gray. And Kelly still calls it one of the most amazing single game battle I ever engaged in. Maybe I'll have to try to find that game and see if that's on YouTube and see. Because I think it's supposed to be on ABC, but they blacked it out. Or at least get the highlights of that game. I think I might have seen it on the Small Peanuts 30 for 30. Where, boy, and the guy that did it, Bill Tolan, who was the guy that did the highlight shows. His last few questions with Donald Trump was just heart wrenching. And then he wrote back and called. He's like, "By the way, I finished my film on the USFL. I figured I'd give you a copy. I tried to paint you in a fair light." And he wrote down that he was a loser.
Oh.
He was one of those guys. You didn't agree with him, he'd blow you out and make sure you never did anything again. So.
I think I'm gonna say goodbye to our 2 viewers on the live stream, and at least and then if you guys want to stick around and talk offline, that's fine. But thanks to the 2 viewers that have been hanging with us. I wish you to participate in the chat a little bit. You're certainly welcome to do so. Will be in the future. Anyway, enjoy your sports the rest of this weekend, including the college playoff games tomorrow that you're watching.
Happy New Year for those watching. If we don't see you.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, and stay safe. Don't blow yourself up with a firework.